Hi guys, γεια σας και καλώς ήρθατε to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're making a hazelnut coffee cake that's going to be light and moist and full of hazelnut flavor. There's going to be a shot of Greek coffee in it. So good, you guys are going to love this one. You might want to make a double batch because it freezes well. Let's get started. So we're going to start off with 9 ounces or 255 grams of fresh hazelnuts. We're going to toast these in the oven. So I just put them in a little baking pan. The oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're going to bake in there for about 7 minutes until they're fragrant. So while the hazelnuts are toasting, we're going to prepare the Greek coffee. So in a little briki, a little pot that you make Greek coffee in, I'm going to add the water. We just need a small demi-tasse cup of it. And then I'm going to add a heaping teaspoon of Greek coffee. Mix it all together and just put it over medium-high heat until it comes to a boil. And then set the coffee aside so that way it can cool a little bit while we get the rest of the ingredients ready. The hazelnuts are ready, they're toasted and they just smell so good. To get rid of the skins, you just need a clean kitchen towel. And as soon as they come out of the oven, carefully put them inside the towel. And then just rub them together and the skins, most of the skin should come off. You don't have to worry about every single little piece of it. The skin just tends to be a little bit bitter, so getting rid of it is going to enhance the flavor of the cake. And that's just going to have to do for now. So you just want to lift them out and just get rid of as much of the skins that have come off as you can. And you can chop this by hand, but it is going to take forever. So I like to use a food processor fitted with the blade attachment. And just pulse them until they're very finely chopped or finely ground. Okay, so I'm making this cake using a Bundt cake pan, but if you don't have one, you can use a 10-inch round cake pan. That will work too. And I'm going to grease it first. We need 2 sticks of butter for this recipe. This is unsalted butter. It's 8 ounces or 226 grams. And the leftover butter that's on the wrappers that the butter comes in, I'm just going to use that to grease my pan. If you want to, you can just melt some butter and do that if you don't have a wrapper. Or you can spray it with baking spray. Okay, the pan is ready. So I have the 2 sticks of butter in here and a cup of sugar. A cup is 230 grams. And I'm also going to add a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And just mix this all together. You can do this in the mixer, but because the eggs are going to get separated and we're going to whip the whites, I'm just going to use the mixer just to whip the whites first. And I'm just going to mix everything else in here. But if you have 2 mixing bowls, you can go ahead and just do this all in the mixer. You don't have to do it by hand. It's really not even going to combine until the eggs don't get added in here. So you're going to need 4 eggs. I'm going to put the whites in the mixing bowl. In this mixing bowl, it's the part of the mixer. And the yolks with the butter and the sugar. So for the dry ingredients, I have 1 cup of flour, which is 150 grams. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I should have whisked that together first, but now the whisk has butter and eggs and all that on it, and I'm not taking out another one, so I'll just mix it in with a spatula. I'm also going to add the ground up hazelnuts to this, so that way all of my dry ingredients are in one bowl. And just toss that together. Hazelnut smells so good. If you want to chop up some dark chocolate and hazelnut go so good together. You can do about 4 ounces of dark chocolate, just finely chopped, or you can do little mini chocolate chips. That's done. Now the coffee has cooled down enough where I'm just going to add it to the ingredients, and the bottom of the coffee, which is the grounds, I'm not going to add those in there. I'll just leave them. I'm trying not to splatter it everywhere. Your mixture might start to curdle and separate, but as soon as you add the flour, everything's just going to come together. Don't worry about it. Add the flour in just a few batches, switching to the spatula so it's easier to incorporate everything. And if you want to have a light and moist and fluffy cake, never overmix once you've added the dry ingredients. Okay, once the last batch of flour is added, you're going to add a half a cup of whole milk. Don't overmix because now we're going to beat the egg whites and add those in as well. Beat them on high speed until they're very nice and stiff. And then just fold the egg whites into your cake batter. And just spread it out so it bakes evenly. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This is going to bake for 35 to 40 minutes or until a toothpick that's inserted into the cake comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs attached. Once it comes out, you want to let it cool for about 20 minutes. Then go ahead and run a knife around the center that's connected to the cone part of the bundt cake pan and around as many of the edges as you can without damaging the side of the cake, and carefully invert it onto your serving platter, your cake pedestal, whatever you're serving it on. Once it cools completely, we're going to make the frosting that goes with this cake. So the cake was ready in 35 minutes, but oven temperatures do vary. So like I said, keep an eye on it. It might take 40 minutes if your oven bakes a little bit at a lower heat. Not all ovens are calibrated correctly, so keep that in mind. As soon as the toothpick that's inserted into the center comes out clean, then it's ready. Let it cool completely and then transfer it to your serving dish. If you want to serve this with a nice, luxurious frosting, this is how you're going to make it. You need 8 ounces or 225 grams of mascarpone cheese. Combine that with a little splash of pure vanilla extract, about a teaspoon. A half cup of confectioner sugar and a half cup of heavy whipping cream. Just whip that all together until it's nice and thick, and that's it. The frosting is ready. You can definitely spread this on top and on the top and on the sides of the cake, but the way I like to serve it, I like to just dust the top of the cake with some confectioner sugar and just serve the frosting on the side in a bowl, kind of like you would serve clotted cream alongside scones, so that way whoever wants a little bit extra creamy sweetness, they can just dollop it onto their cake, and whoever doesn't, they can eat it just like that. It's already sweet enough if you ask me, but it just makes it a little extra special. Make some coffee, call some friends over, and share this because it smells amazing. Let's see what it tastes like. Time for the taste test. So delicious. You could really taste the hazelnut flavor with a little kick of coffee in the background, which kind of tones the sweetness down and just makes it extra, I don't know, extra rich. Chocolate would be a really good combination with this if you wanted to drizzle some chocolate on top instead of the cream. That is an option. You can maybe make some ganache and just drizzle it on top or spread it. It's moist, it's creamy. That frosting just adds a little hint of sweetness. I think you guys are going to absolutely love this one. The recipe, as always, is on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you guys think and how you're serving it in the comment section down below. If you want to learn how to make Greek coffee to serve alongside this, click over here and I'll see you right over here. Yes,